The sequence of events leading up to the death of Osama bin Laden began in 2010 when the United States received intelligence that he was hiding in a compound in Abbottabad, Pakistan. Over the course of several months, the United States gathered more information about the compound and began planning a mission to capture or kill bin Laden. On May 1, 2011, a team of United States Navy SEALs carried out the mission. They arrived at the compound under cover of darkness and after a brief firefight, killed bin Laden and several other people in the compound. The operation lasted approximately 40 minutes, during which time the SEALs gathered intelligence materials from the compound, including computers and documents, before departing. There were no American casualties in the operation. The news of bin Laden's death was announced to the world by United States President Barack Obama in a televised address on May 2, 2011. The announcement was met with widespread international attention and reactions ranging from celebration to condemnation. In the aftermath of bin Laden's death, there were concerns about the impact it would have on the ongoing fight against terrorism, as well as questions about the legality and ethics of the operation. However, it was widely viewed as a significant milestone in the global fight against terrorism. The United States tracked down and ultimately killed Osama bin Laden through a combination of intelligence gathering, surveillance, and military action. The search for bin Laden began shortly after the September 11, 2001 terrorist attacks on the United States, which were carried out by the Al-Qaeda terrorist group that bin Laden founded and led. Over the course of several years, the United States worked to gather intelligence on his whereabouts with a focus on the tribal regions of Pakistan. In 2010, the United States received a breakthrough when it was able to identify a compound in Abbottabad, Pakistan, where it believed bin Laden was hiding. The compound was located in a residential area, and its high walls, barbed wire, and lack of telephone or internet access raised suspicions. Over the course of several months, the United States conducted surveillance of the compound using satellite imagery, unmanned aerial vehicles, and other methods. It was ultimately able to confirm that bin Laden was inside the compound and began planning a mission to capture or kill him. On May 1, 2011, a team of United States Navy SEALs carried out the mission to kill bin Laden. The operation was conducted in secret, with no advance warning given to the Pakistani government. The SEALs arrived at the compound by helicopter, and after a brief firefight, they killed bin Laden and several other people in the compound. After the operation, the SEALs gathered intelligence materials from the compound, including computers and documents, before departing. The news of bin Laden's death was announced to the world by United States President Barack Obama in a televised address on May 2, 2011. The operation to kill bin Laden was widely seen as a significant victory in the global fight against terrorism, although it also raised questions about the legality and ethics of targeted killings and the relationship between the United States and Pakistan. The killing of Osama bin Laden by United States forces raised several legal and ethical issues that were debated by experts and officials around the world. One of the main legal issues raised by the operation was whether it constituted a violation of Pakistan's sovereignty. The operation was carried out without the knowledge or consent of the Pakistani government, and it was unclear whether the United States had the legal authority to conduct such an operation on Pakistani soil. Another legal issue was the use of lethal force against bin Laden, who was unarmed at the time of his death. While the United States argued that bin Laden posed a continuing threat to national security and that the use of force was, therefore, justified under international law, some legal experts questioned whether the operation complied with international human rights law. From an ethical standpoint, the killing of bin Laden also raised questions about the morality of targeted killings and the use of violence to achieve political objectives. Some critics argued that the operation set a dangerous precedent for the use of extrajudicial killings and that it was morally wrong to celebrate the death of another human being, even one responsible for such heinous acts. However, supporters of the operation argued that it was necessary to eliminate a dangerous terrorist leader who posed a continuing threat to global security, and that the use of force was a legitimate response to the 9/11 attacks and other acts of terrorism committed by Al-Qaeda. Osama bin Laden was buried at sea for a number of reasons, including religious and practical considerations. From a religious standpoint, Islamic tradition requires that bodies be buried as soon as possible after death, preferably within 24 hours. In addition, burial at sea is an acceptable practice in Islam, particularly for those who die at sea or for whom a land burial is not possible. According to reports, bin Laden's body was washed and wrapped in a white sheet in accordance with Islamic custom before being placed in a weighted bag and lowered into the sea. From a practical standpoint, there were also concerns about what to do with bin Laden's body after his death. The United States did not want to give him a land burial that could potentially become a shrine for his followers or create security risks for the location of the burial site. In addition, there were concerns about the logistics of transporting his body to a different location for burial, given the need to maintain secrecy around the operation and the potential for backlash from bin Laden's supporters. Given these considerations, the decision was made to bury bin Laden at sea. According to statements by United States officials, the burial was conducted in accordance with Islamic custom and in a manner that respected bin Laden's religious beliefs. However, the decision to bury him at sea was controversial and has been criticized by some as a violation of international law and a failure to provide transparency about the circumstances of his death.